Karen rammed her shopping cart into our employee twice, all because of an out-of-stock sign. But she didn't know our cashier was a former Marine with a zero-tolerance policy for bullies. Oh, you're gonna love this one. Picture a small-town grocery store, a Saturday afternoon buzzing like a kicked beehive, and one entitled woman about to learn that karma's got a mean backhand. I'm Jack, the guy running Miller's Grocery, a 45-year-old Army vet who's seen more chaos in a checkout line than in basic training. My store's the heart of this dusty American town. Think squeaky carts, fluorescent lights, and the kind of shoppers who'd argue over a 10-cent coupon like it's the Declaration of Independence. It's a Saturday, so the place is a zoo. Kids are screaming for candy, old ladies are comparing canned peas, and the scanners are beeping like a techno concert. Me, I'm in my element, keeping the chaos in check, making sure my crew, my family, gets through the day without losing their minds. Now, let me introduce Mike, the cashier who's about to become a legend. He's 25, built like he could bench press a pallet of dog food, but with a smile that says, "I'm just here to scan your groceries, ma'am." Mike's a former Marine, though you wouldn't know it from his chill vibe. He's the guy who'll bag your eggs like they're Fabergé, and still apologize if the line's moving slow. Customers love him. Well, most customers. There's always one, isn't there? It's around 2 p.m., and the store's humming. I'm dodging carts, restocking paper towels, and fielding complaints about the price of avocados, like I personally set the market rate for guacamole. We've got a situation brewing in aisle 7, though nobody knows it yet. See, we're out of this seasonal cereal, some sugary nonsense called Unicorn Crunch that kids lose their minds over. The shelf's empty, and there's a big, bold, out of stock sign taped right where the boxes should be. Most folks grumble, shrug, and move on. Most folks aren't caring. I'm in the back checking inventory, sipping burnt coffee from a styrofoam cup, when I hear it. A voice cutting through the store like a foghorn. Someone's causing a scene, and it's not just the usual Saturday griping. My walkie crackles. "Jack, you might want to get up front," says Sarah, my head cashier, her voice tight. I set down my clipboard and hustle, weaving through shoppers like I'm back in an obstacle course. The air's thick with tension, and I can feel eyes on me as I hit the main floor. Let's pause for a second. Have you ever seen an entitled customer lose it in a store? Like, full-on meltdown over something dumb like a missing coupon or a sold-out sale item? Drop your story in the comments. I know you've got one. Oh, and while you're at it, tell me you watching this on your phone, laptop, or TV. Where you from and what time is it there? And here's a big one. Do you think stores do enough to protect their employees from abusive customers? Let's discuss below. I'm betting you've got thoughts. Back to the store. Miller's Grocery isn't fancy. No artisanal cheese counters or kombucha on tap. It's a workhorse serving folks who just want their bread, milk, and maybe a gossip session at the deli counter. My crew's the best, though. They hustle, they joke, they deal with the crazies, and I've got their backs. Always. I learned that in the Army you don't leave your people hanging. Mike's one of mine, and he's about to face a storm in yoga pants. Mike's at register 3, scanning groceries with that steady rhythm of his. Beep, slide, bag, repeat. He's got a line of customers all looking impatient but manageable. The out of stock sign in aisle 7 has been up for 2 days, and we've fielded a few complaints, but nothing major. Unicorn Crunch is a hot commodity. Think Lucky Charms on steroids, with glittery marshmallows and enough sugar to send a kid to the moon. We sold out fast, and the distributor's not restocking till next week, hence the sign. Clear as day, black Sharpie on neon paper, Unicorn Crunch out of stock.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Most people read it, sigh, and grab Fruit Loops instead. Not everyone's so reasonable. I'm halfway to the front when I spot her, our storm cloud with a cart. She's pushing through the crowd, her cart loaded with kale, kombucha, and a vibe that screams, "I'm better than all of you." Blonde hair, designer top, oversized sunglasses perched on her head like she's auditioning for a reality show. Her scowl could curdle milk, and she's headed straight for Mike's register. I slow my pace, sensing this isn't just a quick question about coupons. The air shifts, like the calm before a firefight. Mike's still scanning, oblivious to the incoming missile. He's chatting with Mrs. Henderson, a sweet regular who's buying cat food and complaining about her arthritis. The line's moving, but not fast enough for Miss Sunglasses. She's tapping her foot, huffing loud enough to be heard in the next county. Other customers are side-eyeing her, but she's locked on Mike like he's personally responsible for every inconvenience in her life. I'm close now, just past the magazine racks, and I can hear her muttering something about incompetent staff and wasting my time. My gut twists. This is gonna be trouble. I glance at Mike. He's still calm, still professional, bagging Mrs. Henderson's groceries with care. That Marine training's in his bones. Stay cool. Assess the threat. Don't escalate. But I know that look in his eyes. The one that says he's clocking everything. He's not just scanning cans of soup. He's reading the room. And the room's about to get loud. I'm almost at the register when she lets loose. "Excuse me." She snaps, her voice like a whip. Heads turn. Mrs. Henderson freezes, clutching her cat food. Mike looks up, polite as ever. "Yes, ma'am," he says, like he's talking to a reasonable human being. "Oh, Mike, you sweet summer child. This woman's not here for reason. She's here to burn the place down." And that's when I know this Saturday's about to go sideways. Karen wasn't just loud. She was on a mission to make someone's day miserable. Picture a mid-40s woman storming through Miller's grocery like she's the queen of aisle 7, her cart a battering ram and her scowl a weapon of mass irritation. I'm Jack, your narrator and store manager, still reeling from the shouting that yanked me from the back room. By the time I hit the checkout lanes, it's clear. We've got a Category 5 Karen on our hands, and Mike, my rock star cashier, is ground zero. She's at register 3, her cart piled high with kale, kombucha, and enough attitude to choke a mule. Yoga pants so tight they're screaming for mercy, a designer top that probably cost more than my truck's monthly payment, and oversized sunglasses perched on her head like a crown. Her blonde hair's styled to perfection, but her face, it's a thunderstorm of entitlement, lips pursed like she's sucking on a lemon dipped in regret. This is Karen, folks, in all her glory. A walking meme who doesn't know she's about to star in a viral video. I'm lingering near the magazine racks, close enough to hear but not close enough to spook her. Mike's still scanning Mrs. Henderson's cat food, wrapping up with a polite, "Have a great day." Mrs. Henderson shuffles off, oblivious to the tornado about to hit. Karen steps up, slamming a box of Unicorn Crunch cereal onto the conveyor belt like it's evidence in a murder trial. The box is clearly empty, probably grabbed from a display, but that doesn't stop her. She's got a point to make, and Mike's the unlucky target. "Why?" she says, each word sharp enough to cut glass. "Is this cereal out of stock?" Her voice carries, turning heads from the deli counter to the frozen foods. Customers pause, sensing drama juicier than the tabloids by the checkout. Mike, bless his Marine-trained heart, doesn't flinch. He meets her glare with a calm, "I'm sorry, Mom. We're out of Unicorn Crunch. There's a sign in aisle 7, but I can check the back or suggest." "Check the back." Karen cuts him off, her tone dripping with scorn. "You think I'm an idiot? I saw your little sign. I want to know why it's out of stock. What kind of store doesn't have Unicorn Crunch? My kids need it." Her kids, I'm guessing, are either imaginary or already wired on sugar, because no one needs glittery marshmallows that bad. Mike keeps his cool, his voice steady as a sniper's aim. "It's a seasonal item, ma'am. We sold out, and the distributor won't restock till next week. I can offer you Frosted Flakes or..." Frosted Flakes. Karen's laugh is a hyena's cackle, high and mocking. "Do I look like I feed my kids that garbage? You're hiding the good stuff, aren't you?" In the back, probably saving it for your friends. She leans forward, jabbing a manicured finger at Mike's chest. The line behind her shifts uncomfortably, but nobody speaks up. Classic bystander syndrome. Everyone's waiting for someone else to play hero. I'm itching to step in, but I hold back. Mike's got this, and I trust him to handle it like the pro he is. Besides, part of me, a petty, popcorn-munching part, wants to see how far Karen's gonna take this. Spoiler, she's got a first-class ticket to Crazy Town. Mike tries again, his patience a thing of beauty. Mom, I promise we're not hiding anything. The stockroom's empty of unicorn crunch. If you'd like, I can take your name and call you when. Take my name. Karen's voice hits a pitch that could shatter the pickle jars in aisle 5. You think I have time for this? I'm a busy woman. I don't need your excuses, you incompetent. She stops short of a slur, but the venom's there, hanging in the air. Customers gasp. A teen in line pulls out his phone, sensing TikTok gold. Karen doesn't notice. She's too busy glaring at Mike like he's personally responsible for every disappointment in her life. I'm moving now, weaving through the crowd, my boots thudding on the linoleum. Karen's crossed a line, and I'm not about to let her steamroll my guy. Mike's still standing tall, but I can see the tightness in his jaw, the way his hands grip the scanner. He's a former Marine, trained to stay cool under fire, but even saints have limits. And Karen, she's poking a bear with a very short stick. Mike says, one last attempt at civility. I'm doing my best. If you're not satisfied, I can get the manager. That's my cue, but Karen's not interested in managers. She's on a crusade, and Mike's the dragon she's determined to slay. She grabs her cart, shoving it forward so it bumps the counter. You're useless, she spits. This store is a joke. I'm never shopping here again. Except, of course, her cart's still full of groceries, so that's a lie bigger than her sunglasses. The crowd's buzzing now, whispers rippling through the line. An older guy mutters, "Lady, chill out." A mom with a toddler shoots Karen a death glare. But Karen's in her own world, oblivious to the audience she's drawing. She's got that main character energy, the kind that thinks the universe revolves around her tantrum. I'm almost at the register, ready to shut this down, when Karen doubles down. You know what? She says, her voice a mix of triumph and rage. If you won't help me, I'll help myself. She snatches the empty cereal box and waves it like a flag. I'm taking this to corporate.
They'll fire you for this.
Mike raises an eyebrow, probably wondering how an empty box is gonna win her case, but he doesn't take the bait. He just nods, like he's dealing with a toddler throwing a fit over a broken crayon. I'm close enough to smell her perfume, some floral nonsense that screams. I spent $200 on this at Nordstrom. I clear my throat, ready to step in, but Karen's not done. She's revving up for round 2, and Mike's about to learn that some people don't just cross the line. They pole vault over it. Mike stays cool, but Karen's just getting started. She's about to cross a line that'll make her the talk of the town. And not in the way she thinks. I never thought I'd see this in my store. Karen rammed her cart into Mike, not once, but twice. The woman's gone full demolition derby, and my cashier's the target. I'm Jack, Miller's grocery manager, and I'm charging toward register 3 like a bull, heart pounding as Karen's tantrum turns criminal. This isn't just a Saturday meltdown anymore. It's a 5-alarm fire, and I'm about to dose it. Karen's still at Mike's station, her cart a weaponized extension of her rage. She's clutching that empty unicorn crunch box like it's the holy grail, screeching about corporate conspiracies and incompetent staff. Mike's a statue of calm, his Marine discipline holding firm, but the air's electric with tension. The crowd's frozen. Shoppers, cashiers, even the kids stocking bananas. Everyone's watching this train wreck unfold. Phones are out, cameras rolling, because nothing says viral like a Karen losing her mind. I'm steps away when it happens. Karen, red-faced and spitting venom, grabs her cart and shoves it hard into the counter. The metal edge slams into Mike's hip with a sickening thud. He stumbles, wincing, one hand gripping the register to steady himself. Gasps ripple through the crowd. A woman in line yelps, "Oh my God!" The teen with the phone zooms in, muttering, "This is insane." Karen doesn't care. She's on a rampage, eyes wild, like she's auditioning for a reality show called Entitlement Explosion. "Move!" she screams, as if Mike's the one blocking her path to serial nirvana. Before anyone can blink, she yanks the cart back and rams it again, this time catching Mike's thigh. He grunts, pain flashing across his face, but he doesn't budge. The man's built like a tank, but he's human, and that cart's no toy. The crowd's buzzing now, outrage mixing with disbelief. An older guy yells, "Lady, what's wrong with you?" A mom pulls her kid closer, shielding his eyes like this is a horror flick. I'm there in a heartbeat, shoving past a display of discount chips. "Ma'am!" I bark, my voice cutting through her tirade. Karen whips around, her sunglasses sliding down her nose, giving her the look of a startled raccoon in yoga pants. Mike's clutching his side, breathing hard, but he's still standing, his jaw tight. I see the bruise forming under his caucus and my blood boils. Nobody lays a hand or a cart on my crew. Step back, I tell Karen, my tone low but sharp, the one I used in the army to make recruits snap to attention. She doesn't. Instead, she plants her hands on her hips, the empty cereal box crumpled in one fist, and juts her chin like she's the victim here. "He provoked me," she snaps, pointing at Mike.
He's useless.
"Hiding stock, wasting my time. I'm the one who should be calling the cops." The crowd's not buying it. Murmurs turn to outright jeers. "You hit him," shouts a woman with a cart full of diapers. The teen's still filming, narrating like he's Scorsese. "Yo, she's lying, bro. We all saw it." Karen spins, noticing the phones for the first time, and her face twists into a mask of panic and defiance. She pulls out her own phone, fumbling to start recording.
I'm documenting this,
she declares, waving it like a shield. "You're all harassing me!" I ignore her theatrics and turn to Mike. "You okay?" He nods, but his grimace says otherwise. "Just sore, boss," he mutters, straightening up. His eyes flick to Karen, not with anger, but with that marine focus. Cool, calculated, like he's sizing up an opponent. I know that look. He's not escalating, but he's not backing down either. "Mom," I say, turning back to Karen, "you need to leave. Now. Or I'm calling the police." My voice is steel, but inside, I'm itching to toss her kale-stuffed cart into the parking lot myself. Karen laughs, a sharp, brittle sound that grates like nails on a chalkboard. "Leave." "I'm the customer." "You can't make me do anything." She's still filming, panning her phone across the crowd, narrating her own delusional script.
This store assaulted me.
They're hiding products and attacking customers. The crowd's done with her. A guy in a flannel shirt calls out, "Lady, you're the one swinging carts." A cashier from Register 2, Sarah, leans over and whispers to me, "Jack, I got the security camera feed ready." "Good girl." I nod, keeping my eyes on Karen, who's now ranting about suing the store, the town, and probably the entire cereal industry. I step closer, lowering my voice so only she can hear. "You assaulted my employee. We've got witnesses, cameras, and about a dozen phones recording. You leave, or you're leaving in cuffs." For a split second, her bravado cracks. Her eyes dart to the crowd, the phones, the exit. But then she doubles down, because Karens don't retreat, they reload. "I'm not going anywhere," she shrieks, shoving her cart again, though this time it just bumps the counter harmlessly. She's losing steam, but the damage is done. I glance at Mike, who's rubbing his hip, but still composed, like he's faced worse than a rogue cart in Fallujah. The crowd's on his side, their phones capturing every second of Karen's meltdown. I feel a grim satisfaction. This isn't just a store incident anymore, it's a reckoning. Karen thinks she's untouchable, but she's about to learn that actions have consequences, and Miller's grocery isn't her personal punching bag. "Sarah." I call, not breaking eye contact with Karen. Call the cops. Sarah's already dialing, her fingers flying over the phone. Karen's mouth drops open, her sunglasses sliding further down her nose. You wouldn't dare, she hisses, but her voice wobbles. Oh, I would, and I am. She's not just a nuisance now, she's a liability, and I'm done playing nice. The crowd's buzzing louder, a mix of shock and glee. The teen's still filming, probably live streaming to his followers. This is going viral, yo, he says, and I almost crack a smile. Karen's still clutching her phone, but her narrative's falling apart faster than her perfectly styled hair. She's not the hero of this story. She's the villain, and the whole store knows it. Mike catches my eye, giving a slight nod. He's okay, but I'm not. I'm furious, protective, and ready to see this through. Karen thought she'd get away with it, but she didn't know who she was dealing with. Not just Mike, not just me, but a whole store full of people fed up with her kind. Karen laughed when I said we were calling the police, but her smirk vanished when Mike spoke up. Here at Miller's Grocery, the air's thick with the aftermath of Karen's cart ramming rampage, and I'm Jack, the manager, standing between a bruised Marine cashier and a woman who thinks she's the star of her own courtroom drama. Karen's still clutching her phone, filming her delusional victim narrative, but the tide's turning, and she's about to get schooled by a guy who's faced worse than her in combat. Karen's at register 3, her yoga pants and designer top looking less chic and more unhinged by the second. Her oversized sunglasses are halfway down her nose, giving her the vibe of a reality TV villain mid-meltdown. The crowd's buzzing, shoppers, cashiers, even the kid with the TikTok dreams. Everyone's glued to this showdown. Phones are out, recording every second of Karen's fall from grace. She's ranting about suing the store, her voice a shrill mix of entitlement and panic, but the room's not buying it. They saw her ram that cart into Mike. Not once but twice, and they're ready for justice. I'm fuming, checking on Mike, who's rubbing his bruised hip, but standing tall. You sure you're okay? I ask again, my army instincts kicking in. Protect your people always. He nods, his eyes locked on Karen, not with rage but with that eerie Marine calm, like he's defusing a bomb. I'm good, Jack, he says, voice steady. She's not. That's when I know Mike's about to drop a bombshell, and I'm here for it. Karen's still waving her phone, narrating to her imaginary audience.
This store assaulted me.
They're liars, all of them. The crowd jeers. A guy in flannel calls her out. You hit him, lady. But she's too deep in her delusion to notice. That's when Mike steps forward, his presence commanding the room like he's back on a battlefield. Mom, he says, his voice low but cutting through her noise like a knife. You might want to put the phone down. You just committed assault. The word assault lands like a grenade. Karen freezes, her mouth half open, sunglasses slipping further. The crowd hushes, sensing a shift. Mike continues, calm as a monk, but every word's a precision strike. I'm a former Marine, ma'am. Trained in de-escalation and self-defense. I didn't touch you. You rammed your cart into me, twice. We've got witnesses, security footage, and at least 10 phones recording. That's misdemeanor battery in this state. You're not the victim here. The store erupts, gasps, murmurs, even a few cheers. The teen with the phone whoops.
Yo, she's done.
Karen's face drains of color, her smirk replaced by a look of pure, panicked realization. She tries to laugh it off, a brittle, you're bluffing. But it's weak, like a deflating balloon. Mike just stares unblinking, his calm more terrifying than any shout. This is the guy who's faced insurgents and IEDs, and Karen's yoga pants tantrum isn't even a blip on his radar. I seize the moment, pulling out my phone to call the cops. Sarah, I say to my head cashier, who's already got the security footage queued up, get me the tape. Sarah nods, darting to the office. Karen's still filming, but her hands are shaking now, her narrative crumbling faster than her ego.
You can't do this, she sputters. I'm a customer. I have rights.
"Oh, Karen, you have the right to remain ridiculous, but that's about it." The crowd's loving it. A woman with a cart of diapers claps, shouting, "Get her." The old guy in flannel mutters, "About time someone stood up to these types." Even Mrs. Henderson, back with her cat food, shakes her head and says, "No manners." Karen's not just losing the battle, she's losing the war, and Mike's Marine credentials are the knockout punch. She didn't expect a cashier to know the law, let alone call her bluff with the confidence of a drill sergeant. I'm on the phone with dispatch, giving them the rundown. Assault, witnesses, video evidence. Officers are on the way, the dispatcher says, and I feel a grim satisfaction. Karen's still trying to spin her story, pointing her phone at Mike like it's a magic wand. "He provoked me," she insists, but the crowd's laughter drowns her out. The teen's live streaming now, his commentary pure gold. "Marine bro just owned her. This is lit." Sarah returns, confirming the security footage is crystal clear. Karen's cart attacks captured in glorious high def. I glance at Mike, who's back behind the register, scanning groceries like nothing happened, though I catch him wincing when he moves. That bruise is gonna hurt tomorrow, but his pride's intact. He's not just a cashier, he's a hero, and the store knows it. The police arrive in minutes, 2 officers striding in with the kind of no-nonsense vibe that shuts down nonsense fast. The crowd parts, phones still rolling as the officers approach. I hand over the security footage and point out the witnesses, who are all too eager to talk. The lead officer, a guy with a mustache that screams, "I've seen it all," watches the tape on Sarah's tablet. His partner takes statements, and the crowd's buzzing with excitement, like they're at a live taping of Cops. Karen's desperate now, her voice cracking as she tries to charm the officers. "It was an accident. He was rude." "Who?" The mustache officer cuts her off, his tone flat. "Mom, the footage shows you shoving a cart into this man. That's battery. You're under arrest." The crowd erupts in cheers, a wave of catharsis washing over Miller's grocery. Karen's handcuffed, still clutching her phone as it's confiscated, her sunglasses finally falling to the floor with a pathetic clink. As the officers lead her out, Karen's still shouting about her rights, but it's background noise now. Customers swarm Mike, thanking him for his restraint, one guy even offering to buy his coffee for a month. Mike just smiles, humble as ever, but I see the steel in his eyes. He didn't just survive Karen, he dismantled her, and the whole store's got his back. I clap Mike on the shoulder, careful of his bruise. "You handled that like a champ." He shrugs, but there's a glint of pride. "Just doing my job, boss." "Yeah, and then some." Karen thought she'd get away with it, but she didn't know who she was dealing with. A Marine, a manager, and a store full of people ready to see her crash and burn. The incident didn't stay in the store. It went viral, and Karen's name became synonymous with entitlement. I'm Jack, manager of Miller's Grocery, still riding the high of watching Karen get hauled out in cuffs after ramming her cart into Mike, my Marine cashier. The air's buzzing with a mix of shock and glee, like we all just witnessed a live episode of entitled Karen's The Reckoning. But this isn't the end. It's the start of Karen's spectacular downfall, and oh, it's delicious. The cops have just dragged Karen out, her yoga pants and designer top looking more like a walk of shame outfit than a power ensemble. Her oversized sunglasses are long gone, probably trampled underfoot by the cheering crowd. The store's alive with chatter. Customers swapping stories, cashiers high-fiving, and that TikTok kid still filming, narrating like he's gunning for an Oscar. Marine bro shut her down. "And now she's trending," he crows, and he's not wrong. By the time I check my phone, the videos are everywhere, Reddit, even local news sites. Headlines scream, "Marine cashier stands up to entitled Karen," and the comments are a glorious roast of her meltdown. Mike's the hero of the hour, but he's back at Register 3, scanning groceries like he didn't just stare down a cart, wielding Banshee. His hips bruised, his thighs sore, but his spine's steel. Customers swarm him, offering thanks, fist bumps, and one guy promising free wings at his bar. Mike just nods, his Marine humility in full force, but I catch a flicker of a smile. He knows he owned this, and the store's got his back. I'm by the magazine racks, keeping an eye on things, when Sarah, my head cashier, pulls up the X app on her phone. "Jack, look at this," she says, showing me a clip of Karen's arrest already racking up millions of views. The top comment reads, "Karen thought she was the main character, but she's the villain arc we all needed." Another, "Marin guy deserves a medal for not yeeting her into aisle 7. The internet's eating it up, and Karen's face, red, screeching, sunglasses sliding, is the meme of the week. I almost feel bad, almost. But let's talk consequences, because Karen's not skating on this one. The police charged her with misdemeanor battery, and the district attorney's office, smelling public outcry sweeter than unicorn crunch, is pushing the case hard. Assault on a retail worker isn't just a slap on the wrist. Fines, community service, maybe probation depending on the judge. Thanks. Assault laws. The security footage, customer videos, and Mike's calm testimony are a prosecutor's dream. Karen's not charming her way out of this, no matter how many times she bats her mascara-caked lashes. Mike, meanwhile, takes a few days off to recover. That bruise on his hip's a nasty shade of purple, but he's tougher than a $2 steak. I visit him at home, bringing a 6-pack and some of his favorite jerky. "You're a legend, you know that," I say, clinking bottles. He shrugs, sipping his beer. "Just did what anyone would, Jack Liar." Most people would have lost it, but Mike's Marine training, restraint, focus, de-escalation kept him cool. He's not just a cashier, he's the kind of guy you want in a foxhole or a checkout line. Back at the store, we throw a small event to honor Mike. Nothing fancy. Balloons, a cake with "Semper Fi Mike" in frosting, and a gift card from the staff. The customers love it, showing up with homemade cookies and thank you notes. One lady, the diaper cart mom from the incident, gives Mike a hug and says, "You reminded us what class looks like." The kids' TikToks there too, filming it all, probably dreaming of brand deals. The mood's high, morale's through the roof, and for once, the store feels like a community, not just a place to buy milk. Karen, though. Her world's imploding faster than a bad sitcom. Turns out she's a real estate agent, or was. Her employer, some fancy agency with a name like Alight Properties, catches wind of the viral video and drops her like a hot potato. Their statement's a masterclass in corporate shade. "We do not condone behavior that harms our community's values." Translation: Karen, you're a PR nightmare. Bye. Her LinkedIn's a ghost town, her Instagram's private, and rumor has it she's selling her designer tops on Poshmark to cover legal fees. Couldn't happen to a nicer gal. The internet's relentless. Memes flux. Karen's scowl photoshopped onto everything from Grumpy Cat to Darth Vader. A Reddit thread on ours entitled "People Breaks 50,000 Upvotes" with users swapping their own Karen stories. One guy writes, "I saw a Karen yell at a barista for not having oat milk, but this cart attack takes the cake." Another, "Marine dude is my spirit animal." Mike, blissfully offline, has no idea he's a folk hero, but I'm tempted to print the memes and frame them for the break room. Legally, Karen's in deep. The DA's office confirms the case is moving forward, fueled by the viral outrage and airtight evidence. Misdemeanor battery's no felony, but it's enough to sting. Think further, 1,000 fines, 100 hours picking up trash, maybe a year of probation if the judge is cranky. Karen's probably dreaming of a plea deal, but with the whole town, and half the internet, watching, she's got no leverage. Her lawyer's gonna earn every penny trying to spin. Cart rage. As an accident, back at Miller's we're riding the wave. Sales are up, people are coming in just to see the Marine cashier, and snap selfies by Register 3. I'm half expecting t-shirts that say, "I survived the Karen attack." Mike's back at work scanning groceries with that same chill vibe, though he winces when he bends. I pull him aside one day, grinning. "You know you're famous, right? He rolls his eyes. Long as I've got a job, I'm good, boss. That's Mike. Zero ego, all heart. The store's different now, though. Customers are nicer, like Karen's meltdown was a wake-up call. Tips in the break room jar are up, and folks are saying, thank you, more. Maybe it's temporary, but it feels good. Karen thought she could spin the story, but the courtroom's got other plans, and I'm betting the judge won't be swayed by her sob story or her empty cereal box. In court, Karen faced the consequences, and it wasn't the victory she expected. I'm Jack, manager of Miller's Grocery, still savoring the sweet justice of Karen's downfall after she rammed her cart into Mike, my Marine cashier. The viral videos turned her into the internet's favorite punching bag, and now, in a small town courtroom, she's about to learn that karma doesn't accept coupons. This is the grand finale of her entitlement epic, and it's better than a double feature at the drive-in. The courtroom's packed, a mix of locals, reporters, and that TikTok kid who's probably live streaming to his legion of followers. Karen's at the defendant's table, her yoga pants swapped for a ill-fitting blazer that screams, I borrowed this from my lawyer's closet. Her oversized sunglasses are gone, replaced by a pinched expression, like she's smelling expired yogurt. Her lawyer, a sweaty guy with a comb over, looks like he's regretting taking her case. Across the room, Mike sits with me, calm as ever, his bruise faded but his presence commanding. He's not here for revenge, he's here for accountability, and that's why he's the hero. The judge, a no-nonsense woman with glasses sharper than her wit, calls the case. Karen's charged with misdemeanor battery, and the evidence is a prosecutor's wet dream security footage, customer videos, and testimonies from half the store. The DA lays it out like a chef plating a 5-star dish. Karen's cart attacks, her screeching tirade, her delusional victim act, all captured in glorious detail. The courtroom TV replays the footage, and there's Karen ramming her cart into Mike like she's auditioning for Monster Truck Rally Suburban Edition. The crowd stifles laughs, even the bailiff cracks a smile. Karen's lawyer tries to spin it, claiming emotional distress and provocation. He argues Mike's refusal to provide the cereal pushed her to the edge. The judge raises an eyebrow, her expression saying, boy, you're embarrassing yourself. The DA counters with Mike's testimony, delivered with marine precision. She demanded Unicorn Crunch. I explained it was out of stock, and she shoved her cart into me, twice. He doesn't embellish, doesn't gloat, just lays out the facts like he's reporting to a CO. The crowd nods, the TikTok kid whispers, legend. I'm up next, testifying about rushing to the scene, seeing Mike's pain, and Karen's defiance. She refused to leave, claimed she was the victim, and kept filming like it was her reality show. I say, keeping my army cool, but letting a hint of disgust slip. The diaper, cart mom, and flannel guy from the store back me up, their stories matching like pieces of a justice puzzle. Karen's lawyer tries cross-examining, but it's like watching a chihuahua bark at a tank. Pointless and a little sad. Karen takes the stand, and oh, it's a performance. She sniffles, dabbing her eyes with a tissue, claiming she was overwhelmed and felt threatened by Mike's aggressive demeanor. The crowd snickers. Mike's demeanor was about as aggressive as a golden retriever. She insists the cart thing was an accident. But the judge isn't buying it. Ma'am, she says, voice dry as a desert, the footage shows deliberate force. Twice, explain that. Karen stammers, her sob story unraveling faster than her real estate career. Her lawyer winces, probably calculating how to bill her for this train wreck. The judge deliberates for all of 10 minutes, barely enough time for me to grab a coffee from the vending machine. She returns her verdict clear as a summer sky. Guilty of misdemeanor battery. The courtroom erupts in applause, quickly silenced by her gavel. Karen's face is a mask of shock, like she genuinely thought her Karen powers would sway the law. The judge lays out the sentence, the version 500 in restitution to Mike, 100 hours of community service, enjoy picking up litter, Karen, mandatory anger management classes, and 6 months of probation. No jail time, but the sting's real. Her wallet, pride, and social media clout are toast. Karen's let out, head down, her blazer sagging like her dreams. The TikTok kids footage hits X before she's even in the parking lot, captioned, Karen's courtroom Elzor 10, no unicorn crunch. Mike shakes my hand, his grip firm. Thanks for having my back, Jack, he says. I grin. Always, man. He reflects later over burgers at the diner on his Marine training. Restraint was key, he says. If I'd pushed back, it'd have muddied the case. Let the system do its job. Wise words from a guy who scans groceries for a living. The store feels the ripple effects. We roll out new training for handling aggressive customers. De-escalation tips straight from Mike's playbook. I spring for extra security cameras funded by a sales bump from our newfound fame. Customers are still flocking to see the Marine cashier, some even bringing gifts. Homemade pies, a knitted scarf, a coupon for free wings. The community's rallied around us, and it's not just about Mike, it's about standing up to the Karens of the world. X posts from locals praise our crew. One saying, Miller's Grocery, where entitlement goes to die. Karen's probation means she's banned from the store, a small but satisfying win. Word is she's laying low, her social media accounts deleted after the meme storm. Her former clients are jumping ship, and her Poshmark listings for gently used designer tops are getting no bites. The internet's moved on to the next viral villain, but in our town, Karen's the cautionary tale whispered over coffee at the deli counter. Back at Miller's, Mike's the same, scanning, bagging, smiling through the pain of that fading bruise. But there's a new respect in the air, from customers and staff alike. I catch Sarah slipping an extra donut in his break room stash, and even Mrs. Henderson, the cat food lady, calls him, young man, with a twinkle. The store's stronger, united by a shared victory over entitlement. As Karen left the courtroom, I realized this was about more than one bad day. It was about drawing a line. Respect the people who serve you, or face the music. Karen picked the wrong fight, and Mike, with his quiet strength, showed her the door. The system worked, the crowd cheered, and somewhere a box of unicorn crunch is gathering dust, unbought and unloved, just like Karen's ego. The store went back to normal, but the lesson lingered. Respect isn't optional. I'm Jack, manager of Miller's Grocery, basking in the afterglow of Karen's courtroom smackdown. Her cart, ramming assault on Mike, my Marine cashier, turned her into a viral villain, and now with her probation and community service in full swing, our little supermarket's a beacon of justice. This is the epilogue to our saga, where we tie up loose ends, roast Karen's entitlement one last time, and remind everyone that karma's got a wicked sense of humor. It's been a few weeks since the judge dropped the gavel on Karen, sentencing her to restitution, trash duty, and anger management classes that'll hopefully teach her to chill before she eats another cart. Miller's Grocery is humming again. Carts rattling, scanners beeping, kids begging for candy like it's their job. The viral buzz has faded, but the store's different now, like we've all leveled up in the game of retail survival. Customers are politer, tips in the break room jar are fatter, and even Mrs. Henderson, our cat food queen, says, please, with a smile. Karen's meltdown was a wake-up call, and we're reaping the rewards. Mike's back at Register 3, scanning groceries with that Marine calm. His bruise long gone, but his legend status cemented. I promoted him to assistant manager last week, not just because of the Karen incident, but because he's got leadership in his bones. He took the news with a shrug and a, thanks, boss. But I saw the pride in his eyes. Now he's training new hires, teaching them how to de-escalate without breaking a sweat. And I swear the guy could defuse a bomb while bagging eggs. Customers still stop by to shake his hand, some slipping him cookies or calling him the Marine guy, like he's a superhero. He's too humble to lean into it, but I'm not. I've got a Semper Fi, Mike, mug in the office, and it's my favorite. Karen, meanwhile, is a ghost in yoga pants. Her probation keeps her out of Miller's, and word around town is she's slinking through community service, picking up litter in a neon vest that clashes with her designer dreams. Her real estate gig's history, her social media is a digital graveyard, and her Poshmark listings are collecting dust faster than her dignity. X still pops with the occasional Karen meme, her scowl photoshopped onto a grumpy cat or a "wanted" poster, but the internet's moved on. In our town, though, she's the punchline to every retail horror story, whispered over deli sandwiches like a cautionary tale. Don't be a Karen, or you'll end up scrubbing graffiti off a park bench. The store's stronger for it. We've got new security cameras, a beefed-up training program, and a zero-tolerance policy for customer nonsense. I even put up a discreet sign near the registers: respect our team, or take it to court. It's subtle, but it gets the point across. Sales are steady, partly because people keep coming to see the Karen-crushing crew. We're not just a grocery store anymore. We're a symbol of standing up to entitlement, and it feels damn good. Reflecting on it all, I'm struck by what Mike brought to the table. Veterans like him, and me, if I'm honest, carry a quiet strength from our service. In the Army, I learned to protect my unit, to lead under pressure. Mike's Marine training gave him restraint, the kind that kept him from escalating when Karen went full demolition derby. That's the real victory here, not just her arrest or the viral memes, but the way Mike showed what discipline looks like. He didn't need to raise a fist to win. He let her unravel, and the system took care of the rest. It's a lesson for every hothead out there. Cool heads prevail, and respect is non-negotiable. Which brings me to the moral of this saga: treat service workers like humans, or brace for consequences. Karen thought she could bully her way to Unicorn Crunch glory, but she picked the wrong fight. Retail workers, baristas, delivery drivers, they're not your punching bag. They're people hustling to make your day easier, and they deserve better than a tantrum over a sold-out cereal. Entitlement's a one-way ticket to nowhere, and Karen's probation is proof. Respect, restraint, and accountability. Those are the currencies that matter. Hey, let's hear from you. Have you dealt with a customer like Karen? Drop your wildest retail stories in the comments. I know you've got some. If you enjoyed this tale, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And tell me, what's the best way to handle entitled customers? Let's swap strategies below. I'm betting you've got a trick or two up your sleeve. Back at Miller's, life's good. Sarah's sneaking extra donuts into Mike's stash. The TikTok kids angling for a job. Sorry, buddy, no filming on the clock. And even the avocados are selling without complaints. The store's a family again, bound by a shared victory over a cart-wielding tyrant. Mike's promotion means he's got my back on the floor, and I'm sleeping better knowing we've got a Marine watching the registers. As for Karen, I picture her out there, sweeping cigarette butts off a sidewalk, her scowl as sour as ever. Maybe she's learned something, maybe not. But her story's done here, a footnote in Miller's grocery lore. We're moving forward, stronger, prouder, and ready for whatever the next Saturday rush throws our way. The out of stock signs are still up. Unicorn Crunch is a distant memory, but respect's in stock, and we're serving it daily. In the end, it's not about winning or losing. It's about doing what's right, even when it's hard. Mike did that, standing tall against a storm in yoga pants. The crowd cheered, the system worked, and Karen's ego took the hit it deserved. So here's to the Mikes of the world, the quiet heroes who keep the world spinning, one scan at a time. And to the Karens, take a number and learn to wait your turn.